Day.
This program is brought to you by The Week.
On this Western round of the India Quiz on Freedom, we have Shankar Malik, a second-year student of marketing, and Shrikant R, also a second-year student of marketing. They're from the BK School of Business Management, Ahmedabad. Next, we have Amit Jindal, a second-year student of finance, and V. Venkatesh, also a second-year student of finance. They're from the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai. Then we have Santosh Mishra doing a master's course in history, and Nilesh Upadhyay also doing a master's course in history. They're from the Indore Christian College, Indore. Finally, we have Kunwar Solanki, a first-year student of management, and Anish Aravind, also a first-year student of management. They are from the Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Pune. Mahatma Gandhi once observed, happiness depends on what you can give, not on what you can get. 50 years after freedom, the pendulum would seem to have swung the other way. But in the final analysis, this country and all of us will be measured on what we can give, not on what we can take. Remembering all those who've given to make the country what it is today is this national inter-college quiz on India and freedom. There are 4 West Zone teams with us in this round, and we'll begin by quizzing them in the century round. 100 eventful years is the time span that we cover in this century round, with 8 questions woven around 8 answers, which the teams have to give us to get any points. 10 points for a direct answer and 5 points on a pass. We'll begin with you, BK School of Business Management, Ahmedabad. March 29th, 1857, the East India Company bestrides the subcontinent like a colossus. The British hold in India is supreme and unchallenged. And the jewel in the crown is safe, or is it? A young soldier of the 23rd Bengal Infantry can no longer bear the tyranny of his British masters and fires the opening shots of what became the First War of Independence. Mangal Pandey's name will forever remain enshrined in the annals of the freedom struggle. But my question to you is, in which town did he start his revolt against the British?
Barakpur.
Barakpur, absolutely, 10 points. Now, Mangal Pandey died a martyr's death 2 months later, but by then the flame of revolt had spread far and wide. And in June, Dhundu Pant, the adopted son of Bajirao, captured the city of Kanpur and proclaimed himself Peshwa. Though the British managed to recapture Kanpur, he escaped to Farrukhabad and continued to battle the British in Bareilly and Bahraich. By what name do we better know him? Jamnalal Bajaj Institute. That's not the correct answer. The question passes to you, Indore Christian College.
Nana Sahib.
Nana Sahib, 5 points. Good going. The next direct is to you as well. While Nana Sahib and the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah became the focus of the movement, each state provided its share of heroes and heroines. One such lady, born with the name Manikarnika, fought General Hugh Rose's men to a standstill before finally succumbing to her enemies at the Battle of Katha Ki Sarai. By what name is she better known in Indore Christian College?
Rani Lakshmi Bai.
That's right, Rani of Jhansi. Good going. Next is to Symbiosis Institute from Pune. By December, the last flames of the revolt had been quelled, but the embers remained and were passed on from generation to generation. Jhaveri Bhai may have been a common soldier in Rani Lakshmi Bai's army, but his son went on to become one of the founding fathers of independent India. This young lawyer from Gujarat earned his sobriquet from his inspired leadership of the peasants during the Bardoli Satyagraha. Can you name him?
Sardar Bhai Patel.
Sardar?
Sardar Patel.
That's right, Vallabhbhai Patel is the correct answer. Well, back to you, BK School of Business Management, Ahmedabad. Bardoli may have been a landmark in the Indian peasant struggle. But the first agrarian revolt took place over half a century ago when the villages of Bengal rose as one against the draconian indigo laws. And Dinabandhu Mitra's popular play about the indigo farmers of Mallahati became the first protest play in the subcontinent. Now my question is, what was the name of that pioneering play?
Neel Darpan.
Neel Darpan, 10 points. Good job. Jamnamal Bajaj Institute, you're next. September 1861. While Neel Darpan was taking the east by storm, one of India's greatest daughters was born to an aristocratic family in Bombay. Her political work forced her to seek exile in the United Kingdom, where she published the revolutionary newspaper Vande Mataram. Who was this early architect of India's freedom movement?
Annie Besant.
Wrong. The question passes. It goes to Indo Christian College.
Madam Bhikaji Kama.
Is right. That's right. Well done. Next, direct to you, Indo Christian College. While Madam Kama was galvanizing public opinion in Britain and Europe, the Hindi Association, led by Lala Hardayal, set up their own weekly paper in the United States of America. The caption on the masthead read, Angreji Raj ka Dushman. And contributors like Veer Savarkar exhorted Indians from around the world to join their freedom struggle. The name of the paper was synonymous with a movement. What was it called?
Gadar.
Gadar is correct. 10 points again. The last question in this round is to Symbiosis Pune. As the freedom struggle gained momentum abroad, free thinkers from around the world rallied to the Indian cause. One such lady, a devout follower of Madame Blavatsky, came to spread the teachings of the Theosophical Society. Fired by the spirit of revolution, she stayed back for more than 40 years and made an indelible impact on our struggle for independence. What was her name?
Annie Besant.
10 points to you. Good going. We need to inform our viewers that there are 5 management institutes in Pune working under the Symbiosis name. This is the one earmarked for defense personnel and their dependents. Well, you're very welcome on this quiz, and we wound up with a century round. Time to take a look at the scores. There we are. On top is the Indore Christian College from Indore. Now, the scores in this round determine the order in which the teams get to pick their subjects in the next one, the one we call Decade. And the first and fourth places are clearly defined, but we have to resolve a tie between Symbiosis Institute of Management, Pune, and BK School of Business Management, so we let the computer decide by random selection. There we go. And so the team that gets to pick second is Symbiosis Institute of Management, Pune, and we'll go into our round with questions on the 5 decades after independence after a very short time. The computer comes into play right at the outset of this round on decades, because we have to select the 4 decades that we'll be questioning the teams on. So there we are. And the one decade that's been excluded is the second decade of independence, 1957 to 1967. So we'll leave that out, and we'll begin quizzing with the rest, beginning with the first decade after independence. And the team that gets to pick their subject first is the Indore Christian College. What are you going to pick? Headlines, Endeavor, Discovery, Spotlight, etc. are your categories.
Headlines.
Headlines. First time lucky. After independence, which 2 cities served as the capitals of Madhya Pradesh? For points, name both. Time's ticking.
Nagpur and Bhopal.
No, the question passes to the next team. Anybody else on the buzzer? Nobody else has gone for the buzzer. The correct answer is Indore, where you come from, and Gwalior. All right, I'm afraid you missed that. Next question, the big question is going to be the Symbiosis Institute from Pune.
Endeavor.
Endeavor. In 1956, he became the first Indian to win an international ranking badminton tournament in Kuala Lumpur and was ranked then number 4 in the world. Name this badminton star.
Manuel Ferreira.
No, that's not the correct answer. We were talking about badminton. The question passes. Anybody else on the buzzer? Yes, Indore Christian College.
Nandu Natekar.
Nandu Natekar is correct. 5 points. Well done. The teams will do well to remember there are 10 points here for a direct, but if the question passes, it's +5 for a correct answer and -5 for a wrong one. And now next is going to be BK Institute, Ahmedabad. You're next.
Discovery.
Discovery. In 1948, which life-saving drug was developed by the Indian pharmacist Y. Subbarao in the Ledell laboratories in New York? Time's ticking.
Tetracycline.
Sorry?
Tetracycline.
Just in the nick of time, tetracycline is right. Well done. Next is General Al-Bajaj Institute, Bombay. Which one are you going to pick?
Etc.
Etc. It's a clue on the soundtrack. You have to identify this person from his voice and words, of course. Coming up.
अपने समाज का नक्शा जो अपने दिल में बनाया है वो है समाजवाद का, जिसके माने मोटी तौर से ये हैं कि हम सब लोग देश में खुशहाल हो जाएं और ऊंच नीच कम हो, हर एक को मौका मिले तरक्की का, और ये जो आजकल की गरीबी है वो निकल जाए और आजकल की मुसीबतें हैं वो चली जाएं।
Is Ram Manohar Lohia?
It's not Lohia. The question passes. Who's next on the buzzer? Let's find out. It's BK Institute, Ahmedabad.
It's Dilip Kumar.
It's not Dilip Kumar. Anybody else on the buzzer? Yes, Indo Christian College?
Jawaharlal Nehru.
Is absolutely right. Well, we move on to the third decade after independence, and the one to pick the subject first here is going to be the Symbiosis Institute, Pune. What are you going to select?
Discovery.
Discovery. What organization was formed in 1969 with a coming together of TRLS, Trivandrum, ESCS, Ahmedabad, and the International Telecommunications Union?
The Vikram Sarabhai Space Center.
No, that's not the correct answer. It's not the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. Question passes.
It's ISRO.
It's the Indian Space Research Organization, correct. Well done. Big Institute, you select next.
Endeavour.
Endeavour. In 1975, who was the first Indian to win a Man of the Match award in World Cup cricket? Time's up, I'm afraid. The question passes. Let's see who's next on the buzzer. Yes, is General Al-Bajaj Institute, Bombay?
Bishan Singh Bedi.
It wasn't Bishan Singh Bedi. You'll lose points on that. Anybody else on the buzzer? Let's find out. Nobody else has gone for it. The correct answer is Farooq Engineer. That's the correct answer. Next, it's going to be General Al-Bajaj to pick a subject.
We'll take headlines.
Headlines for them. Who was the first union minister to be assassinated in independent India? No? Question passes. Who's next on the buzzer? Yes, Indo Christian College?
Lalit Narayan Mishra.
That's right. Alan Mishra was the Union Railways Minister and was the first in independent India to be assassinated. Right. Now, next, it's going to be Indo Christian College to select.
Spotlight.
Spotlight for you. Okay. In 1969, Amitabh Bachchan made his screen debut in K. Abbas's Saath Hindustani. Which event in Indian history was the subject of this film?
The struggle of freedom of Goa.
The liberation of Goa is correct. Well done again. And we've finished this next set of questions. We'll move on to the fourth decade after independence, 1977 to 1987. This time, BK Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, get to select first.
Discovery.
Discovery for them. Which Indian entered the Guinness Book on 18 June 1980 after a feat accomplished at the Computer Department of Imperial College, London? The Guinness Book of Records, that is. Time. Question passes. Anybody else on the buzzer?
Shakuntala Devi.
Shakuntala Devi is the correct answer. Symbiosis Institute pick up 5 points on a bonus over there. And the next team to pick a question is going to be General Al-Bajaj Institute.
Endeavour.
Endeavour. Kapil Dev was called Haryana Hurricane. Which all-rounder of the 70s and 80s was called the Punjab Mail? Time.
Balwinder Singh Sandhu.
Time. I can't give you another chance. Question pass. Let's see who's next on the buzzer. Nobody. That was an answer you should have been able to deduce because the correct answer is Madan Lal, who was called the Punjab Mail. All right. Next to pick a subject is going to be Indo-Christian College.
Headlines.
Headlines. Who in 1986 declared a war for peace on completion of his Bharat Jodo or Knit India Yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir?
Mr. L.K. Advani.
It wasn't L.K. Advani. Question passes. Who's next on the buzzer? Is BK Institute Ahmedabad?
Sunil Dutt.
It wasn't Sunil Dutt. Question passes once again. Nobody. The correct answer is Baba Amte. And now the last question in this decade, and that's for Symbiosis Institute, Pune.
Spotlight.
Spotlight. From this book cover, identify the author from her first novel that he wrote. The name of the book is Hotel Riviera.
R.K. Narayan.
Not the correct answer. Question passes. Let's see who it passes to. BK Institute Ahmedabad.
Lakshman. It's R.K. Lakshman.
R.K. Lakshman, the cartoonist, is correct. 5 points. Well done. And on to the last decade here, 1987 to 1997. This time the team that picks first is Jamal Bajaj Institute, Bombay. What are you going to select?
Endeavour.
Endeavour. Between 1992 and 1997, which footballer has scored for the winning team in 6 Federation Cup finals? An extraordinary feat.
I am Vijayan.
I am Vijayan is correct. Well done, 10 points. The next team to pick a subject is Indo-Christian College.
Headlines.
Headlines. In 1991, which Indian received the Nishan-e-Pakistan, Pakistan's highest civilian award?
Morarji Desai.
Is absolutely right, 10 points. Symbiosis Institute, Pune,
Etc.
etc. In which city did Aishwarya Rai win the Miss World contest in 1994?
Sun City.
It is Sun City. Finally, it's BK Institute to pick.
It's Discovery.
Discovery. What was first launched from Chandipur on Sea in May 1989 and landed more than 1,000 kilometers away?
The Agni.
The Agni missile is correct. Well done. And that's the end of our decades round. Let's turn to the scoreboard to see what the positions are. And easy leaders at this point, Indo-Christian College, Indore. The field is clearly spread out at this point of time as we go into our final round, the Millennium. That'll be after a very short break. In this Millennium round, it's time to do or die for the teams other than Indo-Christian College because there are as many as 12 questions which could be taken here in this 90-second rapid-fire round. There's 5 points for every correct answer, and there's a 20-point Millennium bonus if you get 3 answers right in a row, but you have to remember that there's -5 for every wrong answer. All the teams, do your very best. We'll begin your 90-second rapid-fire questioning now. Established in 1822, which Gujarati daily published from Bombay is the oldest existing newspaper in Asia? Indo-Christian College.
Mumbai Samachar.
Is correct. You get the next one. From this photograph, identify this pioneering industrialist from this stamp. Can you identify that industrialist? Nobody's gone for it. The correct answer is Lakshman Kashinath Kirloskar. The idea of directive principles in our constitution has been adopted from which country? Yes, it's Indo-Christian College.
Ireland.
Is correct. You get the next one. What word was actually coined by the Gujarati Bhakti saint Narsim Mehta, which later became a byword in the lexicon of Gandhi's social revolution?
Vaishnav Janto Tene Kahi.
That's not the correct answer. Anybody else gone for it on the buzzer? No, the correct answer is Harijan. Next, where in India would one find the Jarawas, Sentinelese, and Shompen tribals? Yes, Symbiosis?
Andaman.
Andaman and Nicobar is correct. You get the next one. What structure designed by F.W. Stevens in Italian Gothic style was built in 1878 by the Great Indian Peninsular Railways?
Victoria mein VT.
Victoria Terminus is correct. You get the next one. Who was the private secretary to the Congress President Dadabhai Nauroji at the 1906 plenary session of the party?
Who?
No, you're going to miss the Millennium. The question passes. It's Indo-Christian College, yes?
मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना.
That's the correct answer. Well done. Well, with the closing of our Millennium Round, time to take a look at what the results are. And there we have it. It's Indo Christian College. Very well done. The winning team gets 6,000 rupees from the Malayalam Manorama Company and the Weekend Stay in Kerala courtesy KCDC. The runners-up get gift calculators courtesy Keltron. Viewers would be interested to know that in the All India selection tests for this India quiz, where over 500 students took an entrance test at 16 centers throughout the country, the team that had the highest score was the team that won this West Zone round, Indo Christian College. Other teams run to form as we move on from zone to zone, from week to week. Join us next week on another round of the India quiz. Till then, goodbye. The scoreboard, and there we are. It's All India University, Delhi. They are the winners. The winning team gets 6,000 rupees from the Malayalam Manorama Company and the Weekend Stay in Kerala courtesy KCDC. The runners-up get gift calculators courtesy Keltron.